The whole premise for Apple's existence is to come up with better products, highly differentiated, better products. We started Apple when I was 20 years old, and it's been my whole adult life. It needs to be more. There is a constant tension in our industry between standards and innovation, and that's the role of the companies that innovate. Macintosh, as an example, was a real step, a real revolution versus just an evolution.
Would you like to see the demos or not?
And I think that the real problem is we have to have more accountability for our raw technologies.
"15 strategies that made Apple the most valuable company in the world." With a market cap north of $2 trillion and a cult-like status, Apple is a unique success story in the modern business era. One thing's for sure, the company didn't become the most valuable company in the world by accident. Every corporate success story contains at least a little bit of luck and good timing. But becoming an undisputed market leader and staying that way for over a decade takes more. These are the 15 strategies we've identified that led Apple to get where it is today, earning it the crown, for now at least, of the most valuable company in the world. One, doesn't try to be the biggest, but gets there anyway. Throughout the company's history, Apple never historically took a truly mass-market approach. Macs remain only a fraction of the computer market to this day, despite their immense success. You could make the argument that Apple succeeds by not trying to be the biggest. Instead of trying to be the biggest force by market share, Apple focuses on other priorities: quality, customer experience, and the other attributes coming lower in this list. Of course, there's some real irony here, because Apple is the biggest in terms of market value, even though it doesn't even try to be the biggest in every category. 2. Laser focus on its market. Apple knows with laser-like precision who's in its target market and who isn't. While this target market can and does shift over time, Apple doesn't lose sight of it like so many companies do. By keeping a tight focus on the customers it wants to go after, Apple avoids costly distractions and continues to grow in value. 3. Hardcore commitment to customer experience. No matter where you look, absolutely every aspect of Apple's business targets customer experience. This hardcore commitment to customer experience shows up in the company's retail stores. It's all over the company's website. It's built into macOS and iOS on every level. Apple, just like every other tech giant, is ultimately trying to earn as much profit as possible. But it's possible and all too common for companies to focus so much on profits that the customer experience suffers. Apple has managed to keep this in proper balance throughout its many years of sustained growth. 4. Controls its ecosystem better than the competition. The Apple ecosystem isn't perfect, but it's far more tightly controlled than the competition. Apple's App Store is one example. Yes, there are sketchy and even scam apps that make the tech news every now and again, but it's nothing like the Google Play Store. Ugh. The same goes for ecosystem integration, the way various Apple products just work together almost like magic. Apple isn't perfect at this. We're looking at UI Cloud. But in most areas, it's far ahead of the competition in terms of ecosystem integration. 5. Better right than early. Apple takes a lot of heat for being late to the party when it comes to certain new features. Just about every new product or OS release announcement is followed by a chorus of, "We've been able to do that on Android for years." The thing is, the naysayers are right. Sort of. Apple often takes a better right than early approach to new feature rollouts. Time and time again, Samsung or Google or whoever rolls out a revolutionary new feature that's only half-baked or even half-built. Yes, Android got it first. Yes, Apple should have gotten to it sooner. But when Apple does get there, they get it right. 6. An unparalleled marketing machine. Another way Apple has grown to become the most valuable company in the world is through its unparalleled marketing machine. Apple doesn't advertise everywhere. In fact, at specific points in history, it hardly advertised anywhere. Like in the days surrounding the iPhone launch during 2007, relying on product placement and buzzy hype from celebrities and the media alike. These days, the company is so desirable, its own product launches are its best ads, and millions block off hours in the middle of the day to willingly watch them. This kind of free advertising is more than most companies could ever dream of. When it does advertise, it focuses on the user experience and human emotions. And its ad campaigns have long been a cut above the rest. Who can forget the iconic "I'm a Mac" and "I'm a PC" ads of the late 2000s? Apple has long held its advertising agencies to the highest standards and often finds more success than its competitors as a result. Seven, aggressive commitment to R&D. Apple certainly isn't content to rest on its successes. Despite revenues that are higher than ever, the company continues to spend significant sums on research and development. In 2019 and 2020, Apple spent around 8% of its total revenue on R&D, amounting to a staggering $4.8 billion in the second quarter of 2020 alone. That's a lot of cash being thrown at projects that may or may not pan out. Here's looking at you, Apple Car and Apple Glasses. While this kind of money could be seen as a risk, you don't develop industry-leading or category-defining products like the iPhone and iPad, respectively, without serious investment. And that's why Apple's aggressive commitment to R&D is a strategy that has led the company to become the most valuable in the world. 8. Premium experience justifies premium pricing. With few exceptions, Apple makes premium products that are a step up from the competition in terms of build quality and user experience. Because it's making premium products, the company can easily justify premium pricing and the generous margins that come with that premium pricing. To put this another way, Apple makes more money on every MacBook it sells than Dell makes on its average laptop sale. And the same is generally true across the entire market. When you're making more profit than the competition, you'll make your own investors very, very happy. And that's how Apple's premium approach has helped the company get to where it is today. 9. Restraint in product offerings. One thing Apple has done exceptionally well, at least for the most part, is exercising restraint in its product offerings. It doesn't make or sell everything it possibly can, and it uses and reuses components and designs in an intelligent way. Compare Apple to any other laptop manufacturer. Lenovo makes literally dozens of different laptops, each with numerous configurations. Apple makes 2, maybe 3 at a given time. By restraining its product offerings in this way, Apple keeps its margins lower and its supply chain easier to manage. Another way this restraint shows up is in the way Apple reuses components and designs. The current iPhone SE is nothing more than a mashup of the iPhone 8 body and the iPhone 11 processor. It's essentially all old spare parts sold at a budget-friendly price point. One more example, the new M1 chip. It's insanely powerful, but that's a little bit beside the point. Apple's now using the same exact chip to power its newest MacBook Airs, MacBook Pros, and iPad Pros. Not only does the company save via the economy of scale, they also save on having to develop and source separate chip architectures for each device. 10. Uses human language, not tech jargon. Apple's devices are full of powerful and unique hardware elements. The M1 chip we just referenced is one example, as are the T2 chip, Secure Enclave, Touch Bar, Touch ID, Face ID, and on the list goes. But what really sets Apple apart is the language the company uses to talk about all this tech. You'll rarely find Apple waxing eloquent about gigahertz and terabytes and clock speed. Yes, you can get this info if you need it, but Apple knows that most people want to know what a device can do for them, how it makes their lives easier. They don't want to focus on the nitty-gritty details of tech specs. Where other companies go spec forward, Apple goes experience forward and uses relatable human language to do so. 11. Retail stores as experiential destinations. Apple's retail stores are about far more than just buying stuff. Instead, Apple views its retail stores as experiential destinations, places that people can go for a variety of experiences. Sometimes those experiences will culminate in buying something, but not always, and that's okay. Apple is far from the first retailer to embrace experiential retail, but it is one of the most successful. Its retail spaces have thrived. Retail efforts from tech rivals like Microsoft, Samsung, and Google? Yeah, not so much. Retail is just another component of Apple's ecosystem building, customer experience obsessed strategy. It's about more than just selling devices and accessories. Nurturing customers and creating meaningful experiences both increase loyalty and long-term purchases. 12. builds a culture or ethos around its products and services. Does it mean anything in particular when you see someone working on a Dell laptop, driving a mid-range sedan, brewing coffee that came from a tin can? If you have any thoughts, they probably aren't positive. But what about when you see someone driving a Tesla or a Lamborghini, sitting outside that ultra-posh coffee bar, wearing AirPods and carrying a MacBook? You don't have to love Apple products to admit that the company has built a culture or ethos around its brand, using its products awards some cultural cachet. It's why you see all the knockoff AirPods and Apple Watches. You don't become the most valuable brand in the world without offering products that are truly desirable. And Apple has done exactly that time and time again. 13. Effective emotional appeals. One recent TV spot for Apple contrasts two scenarios. One is a bunch of PC users inside an office building, all tangled up in wires and looking miserable. The other is a hip-looking creative type sitting in an outdoor courtyard hovering over an iPad Pro. It's an awesome emotional appeal. Do you want to be stuck inside and burdened all with wires and logistics, or do you want to be free and working in the sun? Never mind the reality, no working professional wants to sit awkwardly hovered over an iPad in the summer heat all day. But the logic of the situation doesn't matter. The emotional appeal is strong. Choose an iPad and you're choosing freedom, creativity, and cool. 14. iPhone, iPhone, and iPhone. In some ways, this entire list could boil down to one answer. Apple is the most valuable company in the world because of iPhone. A staggering 50% of the company's revenue in 2020 was in iPhone sales. By offering a deeply compelling smartphone experience and being right on time to that market, Apple created a brand new, mind-bogglingly huge revenue stream that continues to perform to this day. 15. An ecosystem, not just a device. These days, every big tech company is trying to get you into its ecosystem. It's never enough anymore to subscribe to just one service or buy just one device. While companies are seeing varying degrees of success with the ecosystem approach, Apple is capitalizing on it like none other. The iPhone is a great phone, but it's even better with an Apple Watch. And macOS is a great desktop OS, made so much better thanks to handoff and other iCloud integration. Apple knows that the deeper a customer gets pulled into its ecosystem, the more loyalty that ecosystem generates. It becomes that much harder to switch back to Windows or Android or Chrome OS, increasing the long-term value of every single customer. Apple's rise to become the most valuable company in the world has been a fun one to watch, and these 15 strategies help explain how the company got to where it is today. Of course, we're happy to hear from you. Did we miss a strategy? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoy this content, be sure to give us a like and click that subscribe button.